Okay, all right, great, fantastic. So we are going to, what we are going to check today is the remaining problems for review. Some more problems for review. That is what we will check, and we will start with our blunders handout. So this is the page one of blunders up to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we had seen. So now we are seeing the seventh seventh position here, and I think only one person has in advance sent me his homework notes, which is Ansh. So Ansh, really great that you have done the homework, and many others might have also done it but may not have sent it to me, but really good that you sent it to me. So Ansh, I hope you got the notes that I sent back. Your dad had mailed me, and then I sent back some notes on your responses. But good work. All right. So let us see. So this is the position, and white to play. Can you identify what is the threat, and then can you prepare a move which will take care of the threat? So you can send me your moves privately, and let us see what is the first. Just describe. Okay. Yep. Okay. One person has sent me. Yeah, Madhura, I think the threat is right. So you have to see what is the answer. So good. Yeah, that is also okay. Okay. Anyone else? Madhura has sent me. Ansh is yeah, Ansh, I got that. This is what you had also sent me beforehand. But then I talked to you about. I don't know whether you got the note. There is you got the threat right, but the pairing is yeah. Abhinav, sorry, Sai Pranav also got the threat right. So I think most of you are seeing the threat properly based on your training so far, which is good. Yeah, Ansh, I think just you might have to just think about what is a better way of parrying the threat. Threat you got all right. Even Madhura, I think you got the threat all right, but there may be a better way to deal with the threat. And Pranav, what is your move for dealing with the threat? White to move. Okay, I will tell now what is the threat. See, in this position, the white knight at g3 is under threat because it is supported by a pawn. It is attacked by the black bishop, and the pawn is pinned by the queen against the king. So what is really, if it was black to move, black would happily take bishop takes g3, right? No, so bishop crosses g3 is the threat, right? So what is to deal with it? So I've seen examples. One example was king to h2. Yes, it does deal with the immediate threat of the knight on g3, but it puts the g3 knight under pin. So there must be a better way of doing it. There was another move is king to h1. So king to h1 deals with the primarily with the threat, but then what happens is black has the option of bishop takes g3, f takes g3, and white's central pawn like f pawn, which is towards the center, has gone to the side, and it is a doubled pawn now. So it is like end game it is not so great. So then there was one move about knight to h1. Knight to h1 is an okay, deals with the threat, does not allow doubling of the pawn, but a knight goes to the corner, and then after some time, what will you do? Because how will you get the knight into good position? Because it is at h1 corner means really it is like one of the most least effective squares, right? So one good move which does everything is actually knight to f1. Okay, so you should consider the knight to f1 as a move because it brings back the knight, but there is no doubling. And in fact, what white can do is then kick away the bishop after some time, and then again bring back the knight into position, either on e3 or on d2 or on h2 and going to g4, right? So that way, actually, knight to f1 is a interesting move that you should consider. All other moves also, they parry the main threat. So in that case, since you have got it, but just that, what is the best way to deal with it? Yeah, maybe knight to f1 may be better. Okay. All right. So I think good. Okay, let us go on to the second position. Second position is this, and it is black to move. And what is the threat? This is a slightly tougher one because if the threat is not very obvious to find, but with practice you will be able to notice it. Like looking at it, I was able to immediately identify it, but maybe because I've seen so many games and positions. But yeah, I mean the patterns. That is why actually, the more you have seen it, the more you have played it, it will go into your head. Can anybody identify the threat? What is white really threatening? Two threats. Ahan is saying two threats. Okay, Madhura. Yeah, Madhura. I think you are. Yes, I think you have got the threat all right. But immediately what you are saying is not going to happen. But it is after one or two moves that is what is going to happen. Uh, okay, so there are two threats. Ahan, yeah, tell me your threats. You can put your position or what is the things. Om, Ansh, I think you had actually worked on this. So maybe if you have looked at it further, then you can tell. Or Lalit, Abhinav, Pranav, Om. Uh, that is okay. Ansh, you told about black's move, but see, it is white, black to move, but black has to respond to the threat, which means that the threat is from white side. So can you see the what is the threat from the white side? And Ahan, you are yet to tell me what are the threats. Okay, so I think I'm about to now share. Okay, I will tell that the thing, and maybe you can still think this one. I say that the threat is black bishop on b6 is in danger of getting captured or getting trapped. Okay, not immediately, not on the first move after next, but after two moves, and hence black has to deal with it. Mhm. So okay, so I will tell what exactly how it can be. See, right now in this position, immediately you cannot play a5 because black has got the knight at c6, which is also attacking a5, and b6, which is also attacking. So if you play a5, black will simply play knight takes a5. Okay, so it is not immediately, but imagine what would happen. Knight to c4. No, knight to c4 is not really a threat because it will lead to exchanges. See, the threat is this: white will say, let me take the knight at c6, bishop takes c6. Okay, if bishop takes c6, black will have to take it with either with the pawn or the bishop, and then white will play a5. Now bishop is kind of getting trapped. It will have to go to c5, but when it goes to c5, then you will play b4, again attacking the bishop. Now it does not have any place. Everywhere it go, it is under attack by pawns, and it will get captured by a pawn. So it will be like a pawn for a bishop, which is obviously a minus 2 points, right? So that is the threat. Okay, Akshay and Ashish, welcome. Yeah, so that is a threat in this position. So uh, what is the way to do? Okay, so if black is to play, black knight at f6 is pinned, so it cannot capture the white bishop in the first place, right? So that is also not possible. What else is there? So I think Madhura found a good move, which is a6, preparing for when the eventually the attack comes, then bishop will be able to slip back to a7. So a6 was a decent move. The other move might have to be some kind of an counter attack, but I don't see it right now. But yeah, a5 also, black can also play a5 and himself, so that the pawn will not even reach. White pawn is blocked. That is also a way of dealing with it. Positionally, I feel a6 might be better, but a5 is also okay. In fact, it will prevent b4. So I think I like a5 also. Okay, so black can play a5 here and prevent the threat. Okay, so you got a sense of the threats that can happen. So these are the interesting things that can happen. It is not like immediately on the first move, but on. Okay, so Pranav, you have raised a hand. So tell me, what is the thing?
So how will a6 stop white from capturing black's bishop?
Yeah, what happens is, see, a6 will not directly stop, but what happens is, what is the threat? White will play bishop takes c6, black will take bishop takes c6, then white will play a5. But when white plays a5, black bishop has a place on a7 to go. So when white plays a5, black bishop will go to a7, and then there is no
Okay.
attack, right? That is the way, and it continues to eye the diagonal, which is a very important diagonal. uh, a7, b6, c5, d4, e3, f2, right, against the king. So it's black wants to maintain on that diagonal, so he will be able to maintain it. Okay, all right. Very quickly, let us look at the next position, number 9 in the handout on blunders, and yeah, let us see. It is black to play, and black has got something is under threat. Okay, so again, white is threatening something, and black needs to defend. So let us see if you are able to get what is it that white is threatening. Okay, knight. You are saying knight f6. Okay, yeah. So I think, but why, Ansh? Yeah, I think you have got it right. Okay, but the first move rather not may not be the second move. Second move that you suggest, I don't think it varies. But that's why I want to ask you, what is the threat? Yeah, who said that? Okay, okay, Madhura has got the threat right. And what is the next move, Madhura? Actually, the threat is uh, you got the first move of the threat right, but there is a second move. Yes, Sachi, you are right, but there is a even bigger threat than that. So what you found is a small threat, but there is white is threatening something more bigger. So Madhura, yeah, tell me what will be the follow-up threat. Okay, yeah, got it. Double attack, right? Yeah. All right. Due to yeah, no problem. Yeah, Rishita, we are looking at the handouts on blunders, the page one, the bottommost three positions, and we are at the ninth position for the blunders handout. And it is black to move, and black has to defend against a particular threat from white. So we have to see what is the threat. Okay. So Madhura has got it right, and Ansh also, I suspect he has got a sense of it, but I want to understand whether he has really seen the full threat. No, e8 is not really under threat, because though white have got double rooks going up to e8, but black also has got double protection against e8. f8 rook and queen at g6, both of them are controlling the square e8. Uh, uh, okay, but yeah, so there may be a slightly Yeah, I think it is also okay. What you have got, Madura is the move is. I think it should be okay. No, Rushita, I have already sent the handout twice now on the WhatsApp group. So maybe you might want to just check the history and then download. I last week or so also I had sent it, or a week before that, and then just now today about an hour back also I sent it. Yeah, my okay. Alfia is saying yeah, but what is the follow up move? Yeah, you are right. You are very close, Alfia. But have you seen the next move? So yeah, Madhura, you have got it absolutely right. Okay, so I think I will go ahead and tell now. The threat is white is threatening a double attack on the second move. Okay, so first move white is saying he's going to sacrifice his rook against the knight at d5. Rook takes d5. Black has no option other than taking c takes d5. But next move queen takes d5, check to the king as well as attack against the a8 rook. So king moves, or you block the check and white queen takes the a8 rook. That is the real threat. In the
Uncle, it's not really necessary, right? The black can block the check with bishop e6, right? The queen is also protecting it.
no queen, but white rook is also attacking e6. So okay, so if rook takes d5, c takes d5, queen takes d5 check, bishop e6, okay, rook takes e6.
Yeah.
So and
Okay, there's a rook here. Okay, I didn't see
yeah,
that.
yeah. So that is the thing. Okay, so that is the threat. Okay, there is another minor threat which is bishop takes b5 pawn. Okay, and if c takes b5, then again queen can take the knight at uh, d5 again and again, give the check and again the fork. That is also there. So there are two threats. So which one would you yeah, I think bishop to b7 or bishop to d7. There are small variations between those two, but essentially if you thought about this thing and hence decided to move the bishop up, okay, either to d7 or to b7, then you have got it. Okay, because with that you do two things. One is you bolster the protection of the c5 pawn or the c6 b5 diagonal, plus you connect the rook so that even if queen takes d5 check, the rook is not at a8 is not under attack because it will be defended by the rook at f8. Okay, fine, got it. All right, so I hope this analysis gave you an idea of how to I mean what kind of a threats do exist in a position. If you have any questions, I'll wait for 1 minute. Otherwise, we'll go to the three positions that last week I could not complete in interesting positions on the pin tactics. So I want to see those now. These are there is a pin handout I had given, and the second page, the bottom three positions. So which is like 16, 17, 18 positions. Okay, so let us go there. Yeah, these are the three positions. So first position, let us see how good you are at exploiting the pin. So first position is this. Okay, white to play in this position. What would be your move? Send it to me privately, and I have also given it a hint. Make it a pin. So just no, don't just give me the first move. You also give me what is the second move that you will do after that, and then I will know that whether you have got it. Hey, has Vedansh joined? Vedansh, are you there? You said you will join. Nandini, I have not seen for a long time. Atharva, good to see you today again. I think you missed a couple of classes. Okay, no, Madhura, no. That is the first move that you got is no.
Sorry, sir, I was busy in school classes.
Oh, okay, all right, all right. So Madhura, if you play that move, then black will simply exchange. No, white cannot play that move. So, Pranav, I think you have got the position wrong or the square wrong. See, white cannot play rook to g1. How can king is at g1? Lalit, Abhinav, Alfia. Okay, so Pranav is saying, oh, Rishita, okay, what you are saying is not, look at it. If you do that, then again, black will play the next move and whether you will be at an advantage. But I think, let me see. Sai Pranav has got, okay, Sai Pranav, tell me what is the next move after that. You may have got it. Let me see. Srushti, yeah, Srushti, the first move that, if you move that, then black will simply exchange the bishops. And then, are you really at an advantage? It is an okay, so yes, Ansh, I think you are thinking nice. It is a pin right now, but it is not absolute pin. It is a relative pin right now. But actually, you cannot even say relative because white's rook against black's rook. So it is not let both of them are of the same value. Plus along the this one, yeah, it is the bishop is pinned, but it is equally defended. So, but yeah, you are on the right track. Think about it. Alfia, okay, most of you are saying b5, okay, but I'm afraid that immediately if you play b5, then black bishop at c6 will take the bishop at g2 exchange, and after that even the rooks will get exchanged, and after that pawn will get exchanged, and after that it is more of a drawish position, right? I mean, if any, mostly it will be a draw. So uh, Sai Pranav has got it right. Okay, so I'm going to give away the thing now. See, the how to win this is first, you have to really take benefit of the fact that the particular position and how the king and the rooks are. So rook takes c6. It's an exchange sacrifice. Okay, and black will be forced to take with his rook at c6. After that, you play b5. After that, now the rook is now after this first moves of white and black rook will be absolutely pinned, not relatively pinned, absolutely pinned. So rook takes c6, black rook also takes c6, then you play b5, you poke with the pawn, a piece which is under absolute pin, it cannot move. So white pawn, black pawn will try to take it, a6 will take b5, but white also has got another pawn. So again a4 will take b5, again poking the rook at c6 which is pinned, it cannot move, it cannot move along the diagonal. King will have to simply move, and then bishop takes c6. So net white will become a one minor piece up, one bishop up. Okay, good. Sai Pranav, good. All right. So I hope you got the tactic right, huh? If anybody has any doubt, let me again clarify it. This is the way to exploit. Otherwise, you simply get into, though it is a pin, you might get into an exchange mode, but you have to do the right way and pin something absolutely and then poke it. Okay. All right. Then let us move to the second position. This is also a very interesting position, the one in color here. So you can see I have rhetorically asked. So there is it is like a it is, yeah, look at it carefully. So I'm sure you will see the first pin pretty easily, white to play. Okay. Uh, but then but then black has the move, so black will play right. I think Pranav has got it right, but then after that so it is like a counter pin. Okay, white pins something, then black pins the white's pinning piece, so it is like called as a counter pin. But after that, white it would have been generally enough, but in this position white has got another trick. Yeah. So I think Ansh, you got. I think first move, almost all of you will get it right very easily. But but that does not immediately win. Black has got a nice defense against it. Yeah. I think Madhura has also got it right. Pranav has also got it right. Black's second move. I mean, black's first move. White will play bishop c5, obviously. right? Pinning the queen against the king, right? Thinking that you are going to win it, but it's not so fast. There are more tricks. So black has a defense, which is a counter pin. Now, after black plays the counter pin, what is the next move by white, which wins? That is something that Pranav, Madhura, have you got it? Yeah, Shachi, you are right. Bishop c5. In fact, I'll say bishop c5 is the first move, obvious from white. What is black's move? And then what is white's move? No, no, Madhura, I think there is a better. You can't. No, no, in fact, that will lose. That will lose, Madhura. Your move will lose. No, I think no, c6. There is no way the bishop can go. Both bishops are of dark color, so they cannot go to c6. I think you have got the square wrong, Shachi. Okay, so I think let me go ahead and tell what is the thing. So obviously bishop c5 pins the queen, black queen, but black plays bishop to b6. This bishop goes here, okay, here, and pins this white bishop on c5 against the king, absolute pin. Okay, so what? So now if you take the bishop, queen will take the bishop, give the check. So it is an exchange. If you cannot take the queen because your bishop is absolutely pinned, and queen is defending it, but black is attacking it twice, and there is no other extra defense that you can bring it to the white's bishop on c5. So what is to be done? So it looks like a no. So best case is like you think I will take the bishop at b6, queen will take the bishop at b6, and then it is a check, and then it is going to be an more or less equal game. I think it will be perfect draw. If both of them have a queen and 3 pawns each, it will be a draw. But yeah, so the sequence is this: bishop c5, black bishop goes to b6. Okay, imagine the thing. Then queen comes to f5. Sorry, f4 check. Queen f4 check. Next move, second move of white. Black queen cannot take it because black queen is absolutely pinned by the white's bishop, which has been absolutely pinned by the black's bishop. But white queen is a double attack. White queen come to f4, double attack, check against the king as well as attack against the queen at d6. So king, no matter what king, wherever king moves, white queen will take the black queen at d6. Okay, so that is the tactic involved here. So very interesting and very illustrative. That's why I have purposely chosen it and given it here. Right, pin, counter pin, and then a double attack. Okay, fine. Now we'll see one final position which is even more interesting. Okay, so look at this position. This position is a slightly complicated example, but well worth studying and remembering. Okay, so white, this is white queen at f2. This is black queen at e4, and yeah, this is bishop. Everything else you remember. You see, now white to move. No, white to move. Okay, sorry. I think I got it right. You are right. I think Pranav. Okay, I take my mistake. It is black to move. Okay, not white to move. In this position, it is black to move, and he has got a tactic. So sorry about that. Okay, just orient yourself. It is black to move, not white to move. Think for a minute. And it's not easy, by the way. Yeah? So you don't kick yourself if you don't get it. It is not so easy, but it is very illustrative. So we'll see this position, and after that we'll go back to our tournament, practice tournament. Again, practice tournament also is practice. Don't take it very seriously. Bishop h6. Someone is saying bishop h6. Yeah, but there is a better move. There is a actually you have. Yeah, I mean, unless you see that entire piece, right, then you will not know why that first move should be made. Madhura, you have got the idea right. Let us see what happens after that. Okay. So,
We couldn't join.
yeah, that is Amudini, yeah? Or actually, I'm,
We both of us.
yeah, good.
Lakshmi and Amudini.
Yeah, good, good. Okay, hi. Okay, white wins on the bottom of the board. White wins on the bottom of the board. Yeah, I think maybe I have made a mistake. Okay, so I think it is not white wins, it is black wins. So sorry about that. Yeah, I think I need to correct it. Counter pin is what it is a theme. And okay, so I think I will tell it because it is not so easy. But Madhura, you have got it. But let me tell. Okay, so Madhura says bishop takes e5. Okay, and with the idea, okay, bishop takes e5 looks like a sacrifice, but what it is doing is it is going to open the line for the black rook to come to g2 and pin the white queen against the king. That is the idea, and it's a brilliant idea. But let us see, it is not there is a defense for white which again you have to overcome. Okay, so yeah, first move is bishop takes e5. Okay, and white has no option other than taking the bishop, because otherwise he will simply be one more pawn down. After that, f4 pawn will also fall. So there is nothing that white can really do apart from actually taking the bishop. So bishop takes e5, f takes e5. Okay, next move is rook to g2, pinning the white queen. Now white has to defend, and white has got a brilliant defense, which is rook to g1. Okay, saying that even if you were to yeah, I mean, what happens is let me see what happens. Is it a good defense? There is a trick there, maybe I will have to see it, but I will tell you what is the thing. Yeah, I mean, maybe uh, yeah, rook to f2 is a check. After that, then what happens is bishop takes f2. Yeah, so actually I'll tell you, I think maybe I will again, I'm going to lose time is getting over. But what happens is, if even whatever does white does after that to defend, black queen has got a queen takes f4 check. Okay, that will again a double attack against the king as well as against the pinned queen, and then that saves the day for black and wins. So bishop takes e5, f takes e5, rook to g2, pinning the white queen, and then no matter what white defends the queen with, queen takes f4 check and double attack against the f2 queen. That is what finally wins. Okay, so it is like uh, uh, this one. So if black does not do that, then white has got the thing that white, even if black takes the queen, bishop will take the queen at sorry, bishop will take the rook at f2, and he has got a still good chance, because the king is tucked away in the corner, black's king. So that gives white enough chances. But
the tournament.
yeah, we are done now. So I hope you enjoyed these three positions. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to stop the recording also, and